All right. Shalom, shalom. This is Howard One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nagwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This lesson here is going to be titled The World War III Chessboard. All right. Now, as you know, in prior lessons, I've stated that this is a chessboard for the Lord. Like a game they used to call Chaturanga. This is how the board used to look. Look. All right, this is a Chaturanga board. I mean, it's fought from north, east, west, and south, different sides of the so-called field or earth. Right, Chaturanga. When I look at this board, it makes me think about the Most High's view on the earth, controlling multiple, characters at once. All right. So, now the Lord is setting the stage. Let me get that real quick. That's right. The Lord is setting the stage for a big battle. All right. This is Isaiah 13:4. I'm gonna go here real quick. Isaiah 13:4, and it says, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together." Right, gathered together, just like you're setting up a game and you bring in all your pieces to the game board. Right, and it says, "Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, or the heavenly armies, mustereth the host of the battle." The host of the battle, man. All right. Let me see what that. Let me get this real quick. So he's mustering. Let me see. Here you go. To muster means to number, visit, to charge, govern. The overseer. So the Lord is governing this battle. All right. And all the players that's going to be in it for the prophecies, of which the Most High named them. It's going to be, I'm going to show you in a second. Matter of fact, I ain't going to rush to it. But yeah, it's the Lord that's governing the host of this battle. Let me turn the music down. All right. So he's stirring up these nations. The host. Let's get that real quick. So the Lord is governing and stirring up the hosts or the armies. It says army, organized army of angels, sun and moon and stars, of whole creation, of war, warfare, service, go out to war, service. So that's the host. When I say the heavenly host, the heavenly armies, or the armies upon the earth, it's the Lord that's controlling them. All right. So he's the one stirring up the host of the battle. Look at that. This is Isaiah 14 and 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee. All right. So the Lord is stirring up these nations. It's going to bring hell to the doorsteps of Babylon. Hell from beneath is moved for thee. See, all these nations that's being moved together. He said, come up against her roundabout. All right. So the Lord is building this conglomerate, and they're being moved and stirred in divine intervention so they can bring about the destruction of the daughter of Babylon. So the whole focus is this place. The Lord said he has a sacrifice in Basra. All right. Idumea. Hell from beneath is moved for thee. See, when the scriptures say he stirs up the host, muster up the host of the battle, well, they're being moved so they can all bring about that final judgment uh, to this place, man. All right, to meet thee at thy coming. See, that goes with Habakkuk chapter 2. That means when they go to pursue in their greed, try to take over all the nations, take over the world. Uh, uh, they say make America great again, right? Uh, seeking whom they may devour. Going to take Cuba, going to take Iran. Well, the Lord raised up these nations to meet thee at thy coming. That goes with Revelation chapter 6. Um, they're like death and hell follows. So when these nations go to take over the world, like I mean the U.S., the Lord has raised up these other nations to meet them head on. All right, and it stirreth up the dead for thee. So those dead nations, the rest of the world, right? The world leaders, even all the chief ones of the earth. Imagine it's on a chessboard. All right. So not only the pawns, but all the chief nations of the earth. Not only the proxies, you know, it have raised up from their thrones all the kings of nations, the kings of nations. All right. So imagine that you're on a Chaturanga board and there's you with a US and then all these players start ganging up on you. Same thing, man. But so let's get into this lesson. I want to play this video from this guy, Professor Zhang Quinn. I'm not gonna play the whole video so I get no copyright strike. If anything, I'm gonna borrow the beginning of the clip. I'm trying to make this quick, man, within 30 minutes. But yeah, man, this is a chessboard. This is the most highest chessboard, and we're the pieces, right? We're even his battle axe and weapon of war. But it's just not our time yet. Right now, we're fighting a different battle, spiritual battle. All right. So go ahead. All right. So let's check this out real quick. Play this one. All right, hopefully I don't get no copyright strike, man. Let me try to turn the speed up. All right, he already talked fast. Hopefully he ain't talking even faster. All right, let's play this, man. Here you go. This what caught my attention, and I've been saying this for years. You know, you heard that word chaturanga, chess, right? It's the most high controlling the pieces, but it's about setting the table. You know, everything you say. Uh, Let me get that. Damn. Let me get this real quick. This is second Ezra 4 and 37. It says, by measure hath he measured the times, right? I don't know if this is gonna work. It says, by measure hath he measured the times, and by number, yeah, this is the wrong one. This is the hacking page. All right, here you go. It says, by measure hath he measured the time. See, the Most High got everything mapped out in his time. All right. Um, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doeth not move nor stir them. What do you do with chess pieces? You move them, right? He does not move his pieces, right? Nor stir them up for battle until the said measure be fulfilled. So he ain't set. He got the game table set now, setting up for judgment. See that? Um, so the Lord got the table set for judgment, all the pieces in place, and the battle has begun. And when it comes time to announce the loser, and the winners, Yahushua and the Israelites, but they're gonna announce the loser, right? 2/3 these heathens, East Edom, uh, the U.S., which is known as Babylon. It says, until the said measure be fulfilled. What measure? Prophecies. All right, that's what prophecy is, measure. Or you could say his word is a measuring, is a measure, a metric. All right. So a way to measure time. So his prophecies are literally creating time, turning the page for time or ages. The Lord's divine intervention. All right. So the Lord is not moving nor stirring his chess pieces until the said measure be fulfilled. So he raised up fanners, enemies for this place. You see that? So and you see they're talking about peace, but you say what? When they say peace, peace, then sudden destruction, is gonna happen. All right. So let me play this real quick.
As it just introduced the chessboard or the players and how the game will be played over the next 5 to 10 years. So the two major players in World War III are the United States and Russia.
See, the United States and Russia, the two major, the two major nations that are spoken of in the last days as prophecies. All right, let me get that real quick. The U.S. and the bear. Revelation 13 and 1. It says, Salakia, Revelation 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, meaning upon the earth, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. So from amongst the people, a kingdom or a system, rose up out of the from amongst the people and stood upon the earth. That's what it means. Having 7 heads and 10 horns. So Esau, those European nations, 7 heads, 10 horns represents the EU, which was known as the Treaty of Rome. And upon his horns, 10 crowns, and upon his heads, the name of blasphemy. So you had the NATO and the EU, right? And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. So it started off in that same spirit of Alexander, right? Living by the sword. That's what NATO was. What happened when the Greeks, NATO was modeled after the Greek Empire. So what happened when Alexander came into power? The scriptures say the earth was silent before him. That's in the first Maccabees. So the same thing with this military establishment. That's what it is. It's not a church. It's nothing spiritual about it. It's a military conglomerate that they call the Pentagon. So NATO started off like the Greek Empire, taking over the world, the known world after World War II. And his feet, all right. So the feet represent the end of it, just like in Daniel 2. And his feet were as the feet of a bear. So the end of this system is going to end with Russia. All right. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. Britain is involved. You heard it. What's his name? King Charles. Come over here. They're the king. See, chessboard. They moved their king from Europe over here to the U.S. to embarrass Trump, to intimidate him. Right. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. So they gave all their power and seat and great authority. Right. So let's go here real quick. Revelation 13 and 11, which I'm not gonna get. There's so many scriptures to talk about America that point to America. So we see Russia, right? We go to Ezekiel as well. Revelation 13 and 11. I beheld another beast come up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. They're talking about the U.S., man. All right, and he exercised of all the power of the first beast before him, using all the European allies. Patriot Act 1, Patriot Act 2. All right, so they use all their resources from Europe to embolden themselves in the world, the U.S. All right, so I ain't gonna get too many scriptures on Babylon. So we know Babylon is spoken of in the scriptures. The two major pieces on the chessboard, the dominant pieces, right, that are controlling proxies. So the U.S. They say the least among them shall draw them out. All right, so the pawns, the proxies, are drawing out the kings. The bigger nations. All right. So this is a proxy war.
And right now, they are fighting a proxy war in the Middle East between Israel and Iran, where the United States obviously supports Israel, Russia supports Iran.
All right, so we know that. And let's go to here real quick. Um, There you go. It says Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh. So this is the Most High's judgment that he has taken against Babylon. See, the U.S. today, and his purposes that he had purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. So that's what this is against, those Idumeans, today known as Chaldeans. Well, in ancient time, spiritually speaking, those elite bankers, magi's, was like the Chaldeans. So that's who their opposer, that's who your enemy is on the other side of the table. It's death, is evil, the devil, Esau, all the wicked. That's what we're playing against. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So that's what a proxy war. All right. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So that this habitation, this land is going to become desolate with the because of the dominant countries like Russia, China, and its allies. All right, against another dominant country. That's why they had proxies in place. All right, that's why they had policies in place to where they wouldn't fight a conventional war, straight up war. Instead, they're fighting proxy wars, economical wars. You know, every war they can instead of straight on. Because if they goes head on, it'd be assured mutual destruction. But that would be taking a gamble. Assured mutual destruction on both sides from two major countries. But the Lord step in, He decides the winner. The Lord, so the Most High gonna step in and decide who's gonna win. All right. He said the lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Most High. Let's go back to this real quick. Oh, I still have it on there. So, the U.S., Russia, Israel, and Iran. Those are the proxies. So when we see um an alleged forever war happening over there in Iran and Ukraine, it's basically to keep Russia and China unstable because they were establishing what we know as the BRICS, right? The BRICS nations, the banking system after they canceled Russia out of the SWIFT system. Once they did that, that was a chain reaction, the beginning of their quick downfall economically. The U.S. All right, so Russia had moved to start something called the BRICS with its allied um was it Brazil, um, Russia. Let me look it up real quick. All right, I think it's India, oh Iran, China, and I forgot. Let me see real quick. What's the BRICS nation, man? Damn it. But now it's many other allies that have joined up with the BRICS. As of 2026, BRICS is an expanded intergovernmental organization comprising 11 major emerging economies in developing countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. All right. Egypt, Ethiopia. Now they threw Ethiopia on there. That's Ezekiel 38, man. Iran, Saudi Arabia, which Saudi Arabia is kind of um renegadish. They join any side. They're about the money, so they playing the side of the U.S. right now. Indonesia and the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates is another U.S. ally, and Indonesia just became a U.S. ally as well. All right, so they playing both sides of the field. So that's what the BRICS is. All right, but the scripture say in Nahum, it say stands. Nineveh is as a pool of water, basically draining out. Everybody's leaving the support of this country. All right, so let's go back.
And what's going to happen is that this war.
Imagine being able to.
It's crazy.
It's going to spread out, and then what happen is that it obviously supports Israel, Russia supports Iran. And what's going to happen is that this war in the Middle East, it's going to spread out, and then it will engulf the entire world.
All right, and that's what that's what caught my attention right there. He's saying everything I've said before in a few lessons, that this war is going to start overseas as a proxy war, right? Or then a regional war, which is basically the beginning of Armageddon, the gathering of troops over there in the Middle East, or what they call the Middle East, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, so he's going to judge a lot of their armies. Um, so they're meeting up there, but the powder keg that gets lit over there is gonna blow up so much that it's gonna uh what I said before. If you try to burn down one tree in the woods, it's gonna burn down your forest as well. You know what I mean? So the fire that's being lit is gonna ultimately reach the doorsteps, not even the doorsteps, but the dance floor. Just, you know, um, he said the bow of steel shall strike him through. All right. So matter of fact, let's get that in the scripture where this battle of Armageddon is basically the beginning of World War III. All right, and the whole goal is for that fire to touch this place, Babylon. All right. So when they go to put more affliction on us, they ultimately going to be destroyed themselves. Scriptures say that when they go to feed their belly to consume the whole world for their new world order, that's when the Lord going to bring destruction upon them. Just like he did with Nebuchadnezzar when he tried to throw us in the Daniel and them in the furnace. Well, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah tried to throw them in the furnace, and they got burnt up themselves. Or they threw Daniel in the lion's den for affliction, and then later on, a few of those soldiers got eaten up themselves. See that? So the same thing with these devils that are looking to oppress not only the earth but also the Lord's people, and they got a plan up their sleeves. We're hearing about the Hunter virus and all these different plagues that are breaking out. Revelation 6 and also Psalms 91. All right. So I'm gonna get this scripture real quick. So you heard him. He said, this battle over there is gonna reach. It's gonna get so big that it's gonna reach all the way over here and take and consume the whole earth. All right, and war basically. All right, so let me go here. Let's go to Proverbs 21. Trying to make this fast, 30 minutes. Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So just like the king on your chessboard, you turn it left, right, forward, have it go backwards. That's how the Lord is controlling these people when the Lord's plan is about to happen. All right. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So hold up, let me see something. One more. Uh, that's right. Do, 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 do. Long time. No, I don't want that one either. All right, I'll wait. I'm gonna wait on that one. All right, let me get this scripture right here. Psalms 92. All right, let's go to Psalms 92. There's so many scriptures to get to see the view. The scriptures say we're like grass or grasshoppers, it's like little tiny little. Men are as grass. You know. Um, so Psalms 92 and 5. O Yahweh, how great are thy works? See, and thy thoughts are very deep. So we're his works, we're his creations, we're his characters in this movie, the theater, Theos, which means God, right? So Psalm 92 and 5, O Yahweh, how great are thy works. So World War III is Yahweh's works, working in the earth. And thy thoughts are very deep, you know. A brutish man knoweth not, so a carnal or prideful man like Trump, neither doeth a fool understand 2/3 of our people either. When the wicked spring as the grass, when they spring up like grass, little tiny grass, as we see, it pops up everywhere. And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish out of nowhere, we see them just stepping forward. Trump, Bibi, um, Putin, all these actors in this scene right now. How do you know this is a major script that's being played right now? All right, it's prophecy. Just like during the times of Alexander, those are major prophetic moments written in history, and this is one of those times. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, and they're all flourishing. Right, the U.S. was flourishing and enlarging their desires as hell. They saying they winning. You have Iran saying they're winning. It is that they so when they flourishing, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. All right. So, but thou, O Yahweh, art the most high forever. So even till this day, he's controlling everything, just like he did in the ancient times. He governs the world with his hand. The scriptures say that, like a chess, like with chess pieces. For lo, thine enemies, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. All right. So this is the Lord's chessboard, man. All the pieces are in place, and the game has begun. All right. Proverbs 16:4. 16:4. Yahweh have made all things for himself. So he made all of us. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So he even made the wicked as well. So these heathens too. He don't control me. Yeah, he controlling your ass. All right. So the Lord is controlling the minds and the hearts of these nations to bring about the trueness of the Lord's promise and his prophecies. He says, write them down because they are true and they will come to pass. All right. Joel 3:9. Let me try to go quick. Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, so among the nations, those foreign nations, prepare war. So they all been preparing for war, especially since World War II. Wake up the mighty men. So now they're really preparing for war. Arms races, right? All the mighty men are being woken up. Let all the men of war draw near. See, the game is beginning. It's like chaturanga, chess. Everybody gather around. This is the great war. Let them come up. See, they all meeting over there. Beat your plowshares into swords. So that, not focused on agriculture, but war. That's what Russia did. For the past 10 years, they've been building up for war. And your pruning hooks into spears, just like Iran. Let the weak say, what? I am strong. And we witnessed that. The weak have said they're strong, and they showed so much strength that the U.S. had to back off and come up with a different plan and use poker tactics, meaning deception, bluffing, right? Poker face, meaning lying. So now they're saying they're not going to attack when they're clearly setting up for an attack. All right, which could happen real soon. Joel 3:11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. So assemble, just like setting up a chessboard. Right? Assemble yourselves, all ye heathen, the Gentiles, and the heathen Gentiles, and gather yourselves together round about. And he said, "Yo, you are the focus." To you, he said he's stirring up hell for thee. So the centerpiece, Um, the prey is usually in the center, and um, the hunter, the predator, circles the prey or encircles the prey. It's called a siege. All right. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. See, things can't happen without the angels being involved. So the Lord gonna cause his mighty ones, Revelation 7, to come down and seal the elect and to get involved in this battle. Let the heathen be awakened. Yep. They being stirred up and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. All right, over there near the valley of Kidron, where ancient battles were always fought. Um, Yahweh Shaphat, so Yahweh's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, like you sitting at a chessboard. All right, and as you looking over here at the pawns, your rooks, your castles, your bishop, you seeing which one you're gonna use, which one you're not gonna use, who's gonna lose, who's gonna win. All right, you controlling both sides of the board. 14. Multitudes in the valley of decision. So all these nations being gathered, it's the Most High that stirred them up and gathered them over there. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. See, right now, it's war all over the earth. All right. And you got a lot of people in delusion. All right. At the same time, people are marrying and giving in marriage, going on with normal life, while the earth, the world is on fire right now because of wars. Right, it's the Lord stirring up His wrath. Matter of fact, let's go to Ezekiel 38 real quick. All right, so the chess pieces are in place. Ezekiel 38 real quick. I'm trying to go there fast. Ezekiel 38 and 1. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, against Russia, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. All right, the ruler over there in Eurasia was called Eastern Asia, right? Um, or the other side of Europe. The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, or Russia, right? And prophesy against them, meaning, hey, you're gonna be a major player in his prophecies. You know, Russia. The chief prince or Ra'ash, and say, Thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. So even though the Lord's using these nations, he's still not on their side. He call them godless nations, heathens. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. So who's controlling your pieces on the board? Turning them forward, turning them back, controlling the hearts of kings. It's like a chessboard. He said, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. So cause Russia to become that old Soviet Union military force, right? And seeking to retake its cubs back in its territory as they came out of hibernation, right? Taking all those Soviet Union, USSR nations back to itself, trying to annex them, like Ukraine, and Crimea. And I will bring thee forth in all thy armies. All right. So we witnessed that since 2016, Russia stepping back on the scene after you had the Brexit. Horses, and that basically restarted the Soviet Union. They say till he be moved out of the way. Every time something get moved out of the way that Esau put in place, something else opens. Look at Iran. Uh, the U.S.'s alleged military bases were struck over there near the borders of Iran, and they said they may have hit a weather system which released a bunch of water all over Tehran. It was so bad in Tehran that they were literally about to move out of Tehran and leave the country because there was no water, which would, leave it to be taken by others. But once that weather machine was hit, they saying that all the water started flowing. So the same thing with this. Once the EU, the Brexit started breaking up, that made room for Russia to, it woke the bear up, put it like that. It released them from that 1991 hold that they had on Russia. All right, so it says horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, so all kind of military advancements. Even a great company, all kind of allies. China gonna be in the mix. They got like a 2 million man army. Even a great company with bucklers and shields, meaning completely equipped and protected defense. All of them handling swords. You know, so they're going to be impenetrable defense, and they're going to have a destructive offense. These nations, the weaponry they're about to show. Persia, all right, Iran, we just, you know, major player in the chess game. Ethiopia, just seeing that with BRICS. Libya, all right, uh, with them, all of them with shield and helmet, meaning missile defense, right, and protection of their leaders. Gomer and all his bands. Some say that's like the area of France going to get involved, right, or parts of Turkey and his allies. The House of Togarmah, which is Turkey, of the North Quarters, because there's different parts of Turkey that are divided that side with the U.S. and the major part in Istanbul, they side with absolutely nobody. But now they're starting to side with Iran, right, and the Muslim Brotherhoods, and all his bands and many people with thee. So Turkey got all kind of allies over there. What's his name? Ed Edrugan. All right, so these are the chess pieces. This on the board. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia gonna be the dominant uh, country, the main player in the game. They're like the king on the board. All right, against another king, which would be the U.S. Say what? Here you go. Let's go here real fast. This is Revelation 17 and 8, 17 and 6, 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, see the waters, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So the U.S. is ruling over the world. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the horse. So those European nations, we're seeing them begin to despise the establishment of the U.S. and shall make her desolate and naked. So eventually they're going to attack this place and help to make it naked, strip it of its dainties. All right. He said he's going to cast abominable filth upon thee and strip her, pull up her skirt in front of everybody. And we're seeing that, especially with the raising and lowering of interest rates. And shall eat her flesh, see, eat her flesh, take away everything they gave her, something malnourished, but burn her with fire. So, and they're going to take part in the destruction of this place, all right, or cause her to be burned with fire. For Yahweh hath put in their hearts to fulfill his wills. So who controlling the king's hearts? The Most High. He put it in their hearts to fulfill His will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, NATO, the U.S. conglomerate. Right. So the power seat that Europe held, they gave that seat to the U.S. and said, "Yo, we're gonna take the back seat. We just want to control the money." That's what they call the secret society, and give their or shadow government, and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. Here go the point. And the woman, which is still a servant, right? The woman which thou sawest is the great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, or really reigneth over the earth as a king. All right. So go back to Ezekiel 38:7. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, talking about Russia, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is the major player, and then the U.S. is the other major player, reigning over the earth as a king, right? So here you go, verse 39, 38 and 9. Thou shalt ascend and come up like a storm. That's important. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. It will come up like a storm from the north. They're gonna come up like a storm where? Over there in the Middle East. They're gonna pop up out of nowhere. Like a storm. Just happens. But who creates the storms? You see that? So the Lord gonna move Russia and his allies over there towards the Middle East like a storm, and then it's gonna uh, the blowback is gonna hit all the way over here to the U.S. All right. So, but the proxy war has to happen. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be a cloud to cover the whole land. It's talking about over there. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. See? All right. And then they're gonna head over here. But at first, it's gonna happen over there. You know, dealing with Iran, especially once Russia gets involved, especially with the Strait of Hormuz. All right, so Russia got ships out there now. I'm gonna go to this real quick. Hopefully, I got time. I'm trying, damn, 30 minutes past. All right, so they say gonna descend and come like a storm. I don't want to forget where I'm at because I want to go back to this. But check this out. Let's go to Second Ezra 15. Get it. This is Second Ezra 15 and 1. Then do I want to read from 1 all the way to 28? Sheesh. I'll start from here. Just get to the point. It says, I'll start from 26 and I'll go back up. A terrifying vision. That's what this is. That's why it said, woe, which means horror. War is terrifying, man. Not only that, but people burning up and melting. That's a horror movie. These leaders that we see today, people like Bibi, Netanyahu, things he's doing, grinning in everybody's face like watching Dr. Jekyll's and shit. Motherfucker used to giggle all the damn time. Doing all the demonic shit in the earth, like Freddy Krueger, acting like Trump. A terrifying vision. So that's what they are, seeing the wicked ruling. There's a terrifying vision and the destruction that's coming. Yahweh is aware of all those who sin against him. He will hand them over to death and destruction. See? Especially their armies and their leaders. Terrible disasters, and two-thirds as well. Terrible disasters have already come upon the world, right? We're seeing it, especially with World War II, Vietnam, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. But now look at the wars that's happening over there. Thousands and thousands of being slaughtered, man, as we speak. They say they're gonna slaughter a whole uh, generation. In civilization, that's what he said. Trump. All right, they were there melting people literally using heat weapons, and vaporizing missiles, and there is no escape. So on this earth, there's no escape. You can't run out into heaven like they're trying to do. They're trying to run and hide in the earth, um, bunkers. There's no escape. Try to run to another country. Look at that girl that got Jake. A lot of Jakes ran over there. Over there, Israel visiting until Israel started getting attacked by Iran. There's nowhere you can run. Dubai, people. A lot of Jakes were going to Dubai. You have sinned against Yahweh, and He will not rescue you. So 2/3 not going to get rescued. Then in the east, you will suddenly see a fearsome sight. See, we're seeing it in the east. We're seeing a fearsome sight. War breaking out. All right, Arab armies. Right, Arab armies. Look at Saudi Arabia and all the armies over there. U.S. allies with many chariots will advance like dragons. The dragons of the desert. That's the U.S. and all its allies over there. What they call um, what is it called, man? U.S. and Middle East. What they call it GCC countries or something like that. Yeah, the GCC countries, the Gulf Arab states, man. The U.S. allied primarily Arab Arabian monarchies in the Middle East are called the Gulf Cooperation Council, involving since 1981 involve uh, an economic union of 6 countries bordering the Persian Gulf, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, which just struck Iran 2 days ago, Qatar, Bahrain, and Oman, which are all getting attacked by Iran for backing and hosting the U.S. assaults onto Iran. So these are the Arab nations. There's the allies, and even partially in Iraq. All right, Arab armies with many chariots will advance like dragons. As soon as they start out, the sound of their hissing will spread across the world and bring fear and trembling to everyone who hears it. So we're hearing about it. They might not be watching, but they're hearing about the war. All right, and Iran getting attacked. The Carmonians, which are Persians, will come out of the forest from amongst their them and their allies in a fierce rage like wild boars. All right, so they're gonna be like wild boars with tusks. Tusks represent weaponry. All right, with defense or swords drawn. So Iran came out fighting, trying to protect Hamas and et cetera, et cetera. Advancing in full strength to attack the dragons. Whoa. So they advanced in full strength to attack and fight off the U.S. Proxies. With their tusk, see, with their weapons, they will tear up a large part of Assyria. And Assyria is basically U.S. allies over there. All right. If you look up the map of Assyria, it's today. I don't feel like doing. Let me see real quick though. If I can find it fast, I'll show it. Uh, map today. Uh, Let me see. My bad. I was checking these maps. If I can't find it, I ain't worrying about it. Yeah, I can't find it. They all blurry. So I'm gonna move on. So right here it says what with their tusk, basically saying the U.S. and their allies they fighting against back and forth, right? Proxy wars. But the dragons will unite their forces. So all right. So who's the dragons? Those Arab nations. They united their forces. The GCC nations, right? It's fighting back and forth. No, they united, regained their former strength. How did they do that? With the backing of the U.S. All right. So it's the Shiites against the Sunnis. The Sunnis are the Arabs, and I think the Shiites are the they like kamikazes, man. You know, that's why you keep hearing that word martyr. Their whole religion is based upon martyrdom. So the whole country in Persia and its allies in Iraq and around the Muslim Brotherhood and win the victory. They will turn and pursue the wild boars. See, they pursued Iran, who will be thrown into panic, which we've seen with the 12-day war, beaten into silence, and forced to turn and run. That's when you seen Iran chilling. They weren't striking back. They was unaliving their leaders, Soleimani, et cetera, right? The wild boars will be ambushed. What was that dude name, man? What was the president? I wonder if he's still alive, man. What was his name, man? When I was young, 1990s. What was the dude name, man? I see a picture of him, but I don't see his name. Damn, what was his name? It began with an or A-M. I got a picture of him, but I just can't remember his name. Hold up, I'm gonna show you. This dude right here. I can't remember his name. There you go. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. I wonder if he got hit in them strikes. He was the one I seen growing up a lot. All right, but let's go back. Let's get to stick to the point. Don't get off track. So here you go. Where was that? 33. Second Ezra 15:33. The wild boars, those Persians, will be ambushed in Assyria or in the area, and one of them will be killed. See, all their leaders, especially Solomon, what's his name? Uh, the damn Ayatollah. All right, Tehran. This will bring fear and panic to their army and indecision to their kings. It's like chess, right? Um, so they cut the heart out of Persia, with the Ayatollah, right? Attacking their leaders, caused them to have indecision amongst their leadership. Then suddenly, clouds, terrible, angry storm clouds, right? The U.S. and its allies will cover the sky from one end to the other. All right, basically war breaking out. They will collide head on. All right, so this is where the fight going to happen at Armageddon. All right, Valley of Yehoshaphat. So this is where they're going to lock heads at or lock horns, and they will collide head on and and release their violence upon the earth. We're seeing that with the U.S. and Israel and its proxies. They're releasing violence, according to Revelation 6, death and hell on this earth. The blood of war will be as deep as the horse's belly, man. If you think about a pool of which I'm don't think about the pool of blood. Let me see it another way. It says it's gonna be as much as a horse's bridle. So you have to fill up a football field tub full of man's alleged blood. I'm trying to watch what I say on YouTube, so then I was like, what the heck are you talking about? Um, so if you look at humans being pints of certain pints of blood, a certain amount, so you average that out. That means a lot of bloodshed, a lot of bodies dropping, all right, wasted upon the earth. So the blood of war will be as deep as the horse's belly, all up to a horse's stomach, or someone's thigh, or a camel's knee. All right. So different areas are going to be different levels of war and loss of life. Everywhere on earth, people will tremble and fear at the horrible sight. So we're seeing it. Everything we're hearing about over there and causing people to tremble. But in the U.S., they're using uh, devilish tactics by hiding the details of what's happening over there. All right. So this is a horrible sight that's putting fear into the nations around the world. Then, all right, so seeing what the U.S. and Israel are doing over there, that's why you got King Charles coming over here saying, "Yo, y'all tripping? Shit look crazy. What are y'all doing?" Trump. All right, 38. Then great storm clouds will move in from the north and from the south, and others from the west. All right, so there you go, the U.S. and its allies, man, moving in. But the winds. So this is where we're at now. We're at this point right now where they're starting to move all their military equipment and people, soldiers over there to the borders of Iran. I think like 50,000 something soldiers allegedly to almost 80, pulling resources from different countries, soldiers from Japan and South Korea. All right. And they have the threats of using nukes over there because Israel's a nuclear country in the U.S. All right. Then great clouds will move in from the north and from the south, and others from the west. That's the U.S. But the winds, see, the winds from the east will prevail. See that? See, the east, the kings of the east, they're going to prevail. They're going to say, the weak going to say they're strong. They're going to resist it and fight back. And what? And push back. They're going to push back those angry storm clouds that were about to bring destruction. Then we just see that. We just saw Trump get pushed back. He said he's going to destroy a whole civilization over there. But they got pushed back by the strength of Persia and his allies. Huge, powerful, angry storms, clouds, will arise and ruin the whole world and its people. So it's that basically means this war is going to turn nuclear. All right, it's going to go from regular war and scary as technology, and it's going to go nuclear, and that's going to ruin the whole world and its people that are on it because of radiation. All right, wherever it happens at. A terrible storm of fire, hail, and flashing swords, all right, ICBM missiles, will come sweeping down on those who have power and authority. All right, so you're going to have ICBMs being dropped or nukes being dropped on those leaders. Every river will overflow into the fields, and the floods will demolish cities, walls, mountains, hills, forests, and crops, man. See, the earth is a paradise and they're just destroying it. This destruction will press on. What? This destruction will press on until it reaches Babylon and engulfs. See, that's what, you know. So, what did he say in the beginning?
Russia supports Iran. And what's going to happen is that this war in the Middle East, it's going to spread out and then it will engulf the entire world. Okay?
See, it's going to spread out and it's going to engulf the entire world, especially here, the U.S. All right. So, basically, they're coming up against Iran, and they're gonna find out they made a mistake. You know, you're digging in the dirt, then you hit some metal. You know, you hit something strong. But then the storms, a great cloud, which is Russia. Um, Matter of fact, let me read it in the regular version so you can understand it too, because sometimes these translations don't get all the detail. Let me get second Ezra 15 KJV. Let's read it this one real quick, all right? And it says here real quick, let's go down. All right, here you go. Verse 35. And they shall smite, oh, 34, this is the point. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north and from the south, talking about the U.S. and its allies. And they are very horrible to look upon. Scary nations, right? Full of wrath and storm. But what did the Lord say in Ezekiel 38? Be thou prepared, thou and thy army. So they full of wrath and storm as well, Russia and its allies. And they will smite one upon another. So they're gonna be fighting all against each other. And they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth. So they're bringing down a lot of missiles on this earth, even their own star. All right. So the U.S. and Russia, they're threats with their own missiles as well. And blood shall be from the sword into the belly, and the dung of men into the camel's hoof, thigh. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon the earth. See, we're in a time of World War III, and people are scared from what's happening. And they that see the wrath shall be afraid. See, a lot of people are blind, but the ones that see it, they're going to be afraid. And trembling shall come upon them. And then, especially those nations that are close to it, oh man. And then shall there come great storms from the south and from the north, and another part from the west. So all the nations coming over there now for war. All right, especially from the U.S. And strong winds shall arise from the east and shall open it, meaning they're gonna push it back, stop it. The strong winds is talking about Russia and his allies. They're gonna show up to back Iran. All right, and the cloud which he raised up in wrath that the U.S. was threatening with the nukes, and the star stirred to cause fear toward the east and the west, when it shall be destroyed. All right, so basically, um, Iran and its allies are going to help to push it, stop Trump's missile threats. All right, the great and mighty clouds shall be puffed up full of wrath, and the star and puffed up full of wrath. So it's going to be nuclear at this point. And the star that they may make all the earth afraid. See, that's the mutually assured destruction. ICBMs, especially in Revelation, it said that when they cause fire to come down from the sky, it put all the other nations in fear. So now they come and threaten you with it, like they threatened in Cuba. See that? So they're using the nukes, to cause fear upon these nations and military aggression, and them that dwell therein. And they shall pour out over every high and eminent place a horrible star. All right, so it's gonna be nukes dropped different parts of the earth, especially here in the U.S. According to the scriptures. fire and hail, flying swords, and many waters, that all the fields may be full and the rivers with the abundance of great waters. All right, that's Wisdom of Solomon, I think 11 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. And they shall break down the city walls. Right? What's that? Ezekiel 38. Mountains and hills, trees of the wood. Revelation 7. Touch not the trees or the earth, basically, right? With the fire and grass of the meadows in their corn, and they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon. So Russia gonna get involved and they're gonna get busy. They're gonna turn this war into a conventional war, or well, not conventional, but uh, non-conventional. I think it would be called, right? Well, especially with all this missile technology they got, Tsar Bomba, invincible, invincible missile, Avangard. So that's when Russia gets involved. Um, then shall it says they shall come to her. That's Ezekiel 38. Let's go back now. Ezekiel 38 and 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. See, like clouds. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. That's what it said in Ezekiel, Second Ezra. The cloud from the that's going to show up to help Iran and all thy bands and many people with thee. Thus saith Yahweh, it shall come to pass that at that same time, see, after the war starts in the Middle East with Russia involved, around that time, they shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. So the Lord gonna put that into their hearts. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. That's this place, man. It's defenseless against the Russia's missiles and Iranian missiles. They've proven that over in with the Iron Dome. You don't even hear about the Iron Dome no more, or the slingshot, David Sling. You don't hear about none of that no more. They done moved to lasers and shit, and they needed a pause so they can kind of restockpile everything. All right, so let's go back second Ezra 15. I'm gonna read it in the KJV. All right, so 44. They shall come to her. So those nations are going to come to the borders of this place with subs, ICBMs, et cetera, right? Soldiers, and besiege her. The star and the wrath, and all wrath. Damn, they're going to pour out all, spare ye no arrows. And all wrath shall they pour out upon her. All right. They shall scatter her land. Then shall the dust and the smoke go up unto heaven. What's that? The mushroom clouds. That's when the prophecy gonna happen. And all they that be about her shall wail because of her. That's Revelation 18. All the nations around it, the ships in the sea, they're gonna be scared, seeing the destruction of this place, according to the Bible. And they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear. All right. So they're gonna be scared of Russia and these bigger nations once they destroy the U.S. But the one that really destroyed the Babylon is Yahushua and the angels. So they're gonna do service to us. So hold up. Yeah, I don't want that. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to get that real quick, man. It was just on my mind when I heard this chessboard theory, what they call game theory. World War III chessboard with the players. We've been talking about this for a long time now. Chaturanga, it's the Lord's chessboard. All right. But he's gonna have all those nations come against one nation. All right, so I'm gonna go here one more time. Now listen to.
of World War III. Okay, so what I want to do this class is just introduce the chessboard or the players and how the game will be played over the next 5 to 10 years. So the two major players in World War III are the United States and Russia. And right now, they are fighting a proxy war in the Middle East between Israel and Iran, where the United States obviously supports Israel, Russia supports Iran. And what's going to happen is that this war
Ain't shit, boy. Hey, I'll just play this part back. They grab me.
proxy war in the Middle East between Israel and Iran, where the United States obviously supports Israel, Russia supports Iran. And what's going to happen is that this war in the Middle East, it's going to spread out and it will engulf the entire world.
All right. So yeah, man. Hopefully it was edifying, and we'll get up out of here. See y'all on the next one. I just want to do this lesson real quick because it was on my spirit. With this World War III chessboard. All right. Hopefully it was edifying, and hold on. I forgot to take this off the damn. There we go. I'm gonna say a shalom. Hey, shalom, Arakah. Yeah, about your Shah Barakatah. See you on the battlefield today or on the chessboard. Shalom.